Hello, hello. We are back. I am back. Uh, Somebody's here with me. We got one viewer, so it is we are back. Um, Starting a little bit earlier tonight than on previous nights. I don't think we're going to be on the whole time. It just happened to work out that had some time. Figured I'd jump on, see if I played any better than I did yesterday, maybe with a good night's sleep and an earlier stream. So we're going to see how that works out. But I did take some time today to think about some, perspective. I was feeling kind of down after making some, honestly, pretty bad misplays last night. But, kind of just woke up today and decided, well, what are you gonna do about it? I'm just gonna try to play better today. But I did realize, I've got still a pretty good win rate. So if I can maintain that win rate even with a massive punt or two once in a while, then that's just going to be okay. And hopefully as I continue to do this more often, I will, get back in some old habits that I maybe have let pass, or at least that are different in paper and online, right? So that is one thing I was thinking about today that I think I need to start thinking about for myself. One way that I think I can improve my gameplay on Arena. When I was playing a lot of paper, I would have, just little habits that I would do at the end of my turn just to ensure, I'd really think about, okay, did I play a land? Is there anything else I want to do? At the end of the opponent's turn, it's, is there any effects that I have? And they were just kind of little mental checks that I had for myself that I don't necessarily think I do on Arena. It's, oh, the button's there, click the button, go to my turn, I don't know. I'm like Pavlov's magic player. They show me a button, I click the button. And yeah, so sometimes, I think I've just got to develop habits. And I think Arena's going to make that easy. I just have to pay attention, I made a mistake yesterday where I dropped a Planeswalker and then did not activate the Planeswalker. And obviously, I don't think that's ever something you would do in a paper game, or at least I think the chances of you doing that are quite small. But here, I just in my brain, I already knew the effect that I wanted the Planeswalker to do, and I think there's some part of me that was just like, well, the computer's going to do it. Like I play the thing, I get the thing. I just why doesn't my computer know which mode I want to activate on my Planeswalker, which loyalty ability, and just does it? Why do I need to do that? So but I think Arena is going to make that easy if I just spend the extra 2 seconds to think about it, because if I hover over the card, it'll show me, I believe, if I can activate it. Obviously, then I haven't activated it already on that turn. So maybe just taking a second and hovering over my stuff and seeing if I have anything left to do for the turn. I know that's one more thing in what sometimes can feel to me like myself already playing slow, but I really think that um, just spending the time that Arena gives me to make the best play that I can is going to serve me a lot better long term. So that's what I'm trying to do today. Just wiping yesterday from the memory banks. Going to try and salvage this, I believe, 2-2 that we got going on right now in our latest standard event. But before we do, we have a pack to open. It's our last pack that we gained during our mastery pass. We did hit level 60 or whatever, level tier, whatever you want to call it. We hit 60. We left last night and had not quite got there, but I do check every so often for the promotional codes, and there weren't any new promotional codes. I knew about the golden community or whatever it was, but I figured I was definitely going to hit 60 without entering that code, so I thought maybe it would last long enough that I could enter it once Crimson Vow came out and I got that mastery pass. But on one of the websites that I was on, it said the expiration date for that code was today, and so I figured, well, it was better to have it than not to have it. Maybe I was going to hit my 60 anyways, but maybe it'll get me to one level above where I would have gotten, and I'll get one extra uncommon, and maybe I'll need that. I don't know. There was no downside to doing it, and it was going to expire. So that's what we did. So we went ahead and got our pack. I didn't open it because I figured we'd do that at the beginning of the stream today. So here we go. Right. So we got two new cards, both commons. We got a common wild card. That's always good. Um, I've seen this deck a couple times, and actually I've lost to this deck a couple times. It seems like a pretty big snowball deck, the warrior deck. There's this warrior is a linchpin, I believe, of that deck, and then there's the warrior that gives all your attacking creatures double strike, and I mean it can hit hard and fast. It's one of those decks that I think if I had a more complete collection, it might be a fun deck to try out. It's always nice to kind of have cards like that, so as the collection gets more and more complete, maybe if on a whim I decide that I want to build something like that, I won't have to spend as many wild cards on it, but probably not something we're playing anytime soon. This, on the other hand, this is a very good card. We have gone up against the green-white landfall deck a few times. Sometimes it is playing black as well and more of an Abzan thing, but I think most of the lists that I've seen are just straight green-white, and this is a great card in that deck. So I'm happy to have this one, just so, once again, if that's a road that I want to go down, that I will have one less wild card to spend on those. So um, that is good. It's probably one of the better cards I could have opened out of this set, because I don't know, or at least that I can think of. I don't know what else I would want out of here. So good card to have, good card to have. We're still not opening the Innistrad packs. We're still holding off in case I decide to draft one or two more times. As you can see, I could draft once more with gold and at least once more with gems, depending on how many games we won in the draft. So anyways, let's go ahead and reroll a quest, I guess, as well. This one, I'm not interested. I mean, if we get another one that we have to complete, fine. But since I have two, I'm interested in just re-rolling the green one, kind of kicking the can down the road and see if we can get some more 750s. We did not, but at least we won't be completing that today if we just stick to mono green. So, all right, let's get back into our standard event. And yep, 2 and 2. So, if you have not seen the VOD or have not seen the video on YouTube, which I'm assuming since I have 2 viewers and I don't get much foot traffic, so you probably haven't. But if you're watching and haven't seen the previous video, it did not go amazingly well yesterday. Like I was saying at the beginning of the video, made some pretty bad play mistakes. But we're gonna jump back in and try and rattle off 5 in a row and see where we end up. The one thing that I've done since yesterday. Well, I edited my first video yesterday, today actually, from yesterday, but it wasn't so much a real edit. I didn't chop it up and make real highlights, but in one of my videos I started and then immediately had to take about a 40-minute break because I got a work phone call. I was on call that week, and so I just chopped out that first 40 minutes before uploading it, and it seemed pretty easy, so I'll probably do more of that in the future to kind of cut out dead space and dead air and stuff. Although doing a lot of that gets more resource intensive and time intensive and that sort of stuff, so I don't know. This hand is not great, so we're going to go ahead and mulligan. But yeah, like I was saying, the one new thing that I've actually done today is that I went online and I found a list of keyboard shortcuts for Arena. I've been asking, and nobody has been able to tell me really if there was an easier way to get through phases. I now know that is the space bar. I now know I can hit Z to undo if I accidentally tap some mana or something, as long as I haven't done any relevant game action since then. The other one that I was interested in is enter, is passing the turn in case there's no action. So it's basically like hitting the little fast forward button. So I'll be trying those out today. I'm more of a keyboard shortcut guy than a mouse clicker. So yeah, we're definitely going to keep this healing back. We've redundant. Honestly, I think we're going to get rid of the Wrenn. We can always play the Mammoth on the 4th turn if we do draw more lands, but if we don't, it'll be nice to have the ability to play it as a land if we draw more top end. So blue, white, red. I'm not 100% familiar with what that might be. So that is Jeskai colors, and I mean, I'm gonna The pump up of the Rangers class is weak to the Fading Hope, and the Briarbridge Tracker is weak to Jawari Disruption. I think of the two plays, I'd rather just have the higher upside of the Briarbridge Tracker in play. Plus, I think these lists play more Fading Hopes than Jawari Disruptions anyways, so... Okay. So, I mean, yeah, if I'm not used to seeing Sacred Fire, but it makes sense. That's probably one of the things the red is in here for. Now, I wonder if this... Well, this might be that... the Angel Fire Ignition deck. They play just some random duder and then they try and get there with Angel Fire Ignition. I've seen that a couple times. I don't know that I've ever seen it splash blue, but I don't know. That's a possibility, I suppose. I think we're just interested in here in attacking with the Tracker, playing the Lair tapped, and then playing the Mammoth. And then if we haven't drawn any more action by next turn, we're just going to try and go up as quickly as possible in Rangers class. Okay. Opponent is, I mean, doing stuff. I don't know what it all culminates into quite yet. He's got a Bloodthirsty Adversary. So that's a good value card in his deck. He's churning with, like, you know, Sacred Fire and Faithful Minion and stuff and kind of treading water. So having this as a... Yeah, he's got a lot of good targets. This is actually probably a really good card in his deck. It's interesting. I've not seen Bloodthirsty Adversary outside of a, you know, just using it as a 2/2 haste that maybe flashes back a burn spell on 5 if you get flooded in like a very aggressive deck. But I think this is, I like what I see out of this deck so far. Seems interesting. 2 white up? Yeah. The Revelry card, I believe, is an instant. I'm pretty sure is an instant. I don't know. I mean, 2 white could just be a Faithful Absence, obviously. I think we're going up, playing the land, pumping the Mammoth. Yeah, and then post-combat we can decide if we want to crack our clue or play the second Rangers class, depending on what he does. So the question here is, do I want to pump the Tracker or the Mammoth? I think I want to pump the Tracker here first. Diversifies my damage on this turn, and I'm still thinking he might play creatures. It's less likely now that I've seen the Faithful Absence and the Expressive Iteration, but Vigilance still could be relevant. So, okay, I accept. I think a sweeper is a real possibility next turn, so I think we're just leaving the clue open and we're not playing the second Rangers class. I would imagine his sweeper of choice would be Burn Down the House. Because he would also get the ability to play the little demons in these matchups where this wasn't relevant. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and crack our clue. There's some world where the clue would be better served with the Rangers class, but I think it's a little too early to start doing that yet. Obviously, very happy to have drawn the Huntmaster here, so we're just going to slam that. Let's see. 3, 4, 5. No, I can't get there if I play Cobra, so we're just playing Huntmaster. There's literally 0 chance he doesn't have spells to play, so I am not going to be attacking and making more wolves. But that's okay. He's a big enough threat on his own, and even if he's able to clean him up, he leaves behind 2 tokens, and we can start getting in. Even if he kills the Huntmaster this turn, I am threatening lethal with the 2 tokens plus the Lair. So he's going to have to answer this very effectively. And one of the ways he would sweep another Burn Down the House is not going to kill the 6 Toughness Huntmaster. So he's got some problems to solve. He's got some hoops to jump through to stay in this game. We'll see if he gets there. It starts with a Feldar Retreat. This is a crazy deck so far, man. I'm not going to lie. Was not expecting that to be the play that he had for this turn. Now, one thing I don't like about Moto, I would prefer it group the untapped land together to make it easier to count. It's like my eyes are parsing from left to right. Okay, that one's tapped. No, 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 no. Yes. Okay, he's got 2 mana up. It would just be much easier if the tap lands all were on one side and the untapped lands were all on the other. I don't know. That's just how my brain works. Tell me what you think. Do you do you find that as annoying as I do, or is it just me? I think. Let's see. 5, 6, 7, 8. I can still try and present lethal here, so we're gonna try. And this will also, maybe I should have put the counter on the layer. It doesn't matter, it's dead. Okay, good. Yeah, I was going to say it also would mean that if he did not kill my Huntmaster, it would have flipped because I spent all my mana on the Hydra, but did not matter. See, that's one of those turns that, like, after the fact, I feel pretty bad about spending that long thinking about the turn, but, you know, honestly, half the turn I was complaining about the land situation, and then the rest of that, I mean, you know, you have to still think about what interaction he has for 2 mana and how you would want to, you know, best deal with that. And so, I don't know. I think it's just something I gotta get used to when I'm just playing on my phone, or even if I was playing on the computer but not streaming, I could take as long as I wanted and not have to feel guilty about that. But there is some pressure that I feel that I put on myself when I'm streaming that, since I know I'm on the slower side of things, that you guys are going to are not going to appreciate how slow I'm playing. But I think that's just something that I have to get over as myself and just be comfortable with, you know, my pace of play, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. And if you do, you'll continue watching. If not, I mean, if I changed how fast I played to kind of try and accommodate you guys, I probably wouldn't enjoy it as much, and maybe wouldn't stick with doing it in the future anyway. So yeah, anyways, 3 and 2, keeping on. Brent 334. What do you guys think about the camera down in the bottom right corner? I think it's a pretty tucked and out of the way spot. The one thing that I will say is you're not able to see the opponent's name on the, you know, kind of versus screen. You can see it once we get to this screen though, so maybe it's not as big a deal. I don't know. I could try moving it up to the top right, where the chat now is currently, and just kind of move the chat down a little bit to be right under it. I might try that. I might try that after stream tonight and kind of see if I like that any better. This is not a great hand, so we're going to mulligan. This is a better hand, and we're going to get rid of our 6-drop. And we're not going to hit the mulligan button. Man, I am really often tempted to hit the wrong button. I gotta actually read what the buttons say. I just think I'm at that weird point where I think I've naturally kind of, you know, my hand is going to go to the right spot because I played long enough, but in reality, I have not played long enough, and it's not, you know, kind of ingrained in me in second nature yet, so still got to read what the buttons do. I also got to practice using the keyboard shortcuts. I didn't use a single keyboard shortcut that game. Just not used to doing it yet. Okay, mono black maybe? No, probably not because it's snow. Maybe the black white angels deck. I don't know. Let's find out together. Starting next turn. Okay. Oh, so like an aggressive like zombies kind of situation? I'm not super satisfied to be up against like an aggressive zombies deck on the draw. I'd feel much better if I had a pack leader instead of the ranger or the wolf here, so that you couldn't start just swinging with a zombie, making another zombie, that sort of thing. Okay, it's got some red in there as well. I wonder what that's for. I wonder if we'll find out. So maybe not even zombies, or maybe not even all that aggressive. I dropped my notes, so I'm ducking down to kind of pick those up first. Dragonfire, I know it's a burn spell, but honestly I don't know it well enough to know exactly what it does. I know it gets bigger if you play dragons. It can't hit face though, right? Yeah, creature or planeswalker. Okay. So he got in, he made another zombie. I'm very, very happy that we hit the 3rd green for the troll. Otherwise we would have just played 2nd ranger class and been probably pretty far behind. I mean, Eye Twitch can poke me in the air a couple times, but I will draw a 5th land at some point and be able to get a Wrenn out. Don't have a great play next turn, so if nothing else, I mean, the Troll does trample, so depending on what he does, I can start putting counters on it and deciding to make this a race. I wouldn't be super happy with that, but he is kind of running out of gas pretty quickly. Oh no, that's a terrible card to see, chat. That's that's a very hard card for Mono Green to beat if they have any other kind of board presence. And right now, they're ahead on board. So, I mean, I have a free block. He probably could have... Well, I guess he knows that I'm going to block, but he might as well try. But he's just going to sack it to make the Predator bigger anyway. So I understand him wanting to get the Predator in play first so he can start growing the... Oh, interesting. Wasn't he supposed to sack there? Sacrifice another creature. Yeah, so could have had a 4/4 Predator there. Super happy that he didn't do that. I do have the Wrenn in a couple turns that will be able to at least slow down the Predator, but the thing about the Predator is it can easily outscale a Tree Folk if he just continues to make plays, and he's got a great way, if he did just make a mistake and he does understand the interaction, you know, he can just sack this zombie every turn to at least keep up with me making a land drop, and then any other creature he sacks, he's just getting ahead of what I'm doing. So I am not interested in racing at all right now. So I am pumping up the Rangers class. I am playing the other Rangers class, but I am not attacking with the Old Breath Troll, unfortunately. Yeah, because he's going to attack with the zombie. There's no reason not to. And right now, I'm not interested in trading my wolf for the zombie. Now, next turn, I might be able to trade, or I might be able to swing with the wolf, make it a 3/3, and then the turn after that, I would be interested in starting to swing with the troll. But that's very slow compared to what he's got going on, and I'm not too satisfied with that game plan, but it is the game plan that I have right now, so we'll see how it plays out. I don't have a better one. So he goes ahead and sacks the Eye Twitch, means he has something in his learn board that he's interested in. Now, it could just be a Sciences or something, but no, it's probably, yeah, probably something to kill a creature. Probably interested in just going ahead and eating the troll, sacking his decaying zombie to do it, which does mean he's not sacking it to grow the Predator, so it's not all bad here. And it is going to be pretty much his entire turn as well. Yeah, so you guys in chat or anybody watching on YouTube or anything, you know, you can comment, but let me know, how do you as Mono Green deal with Predator? I have successfully sometimes just been able to race, but that seems like a losing battle most of the time. And I've also gotten lucky sometimes where I've been able to engineer a situation where I just ran him out of all his other creatures and then I was able to Blizzard Brawl. But it seems like a very hard threat for Mono Green to deal with. I'd be interested in if there's any tech that I don't know about. I know there's, I mean, if I was playing best of 3, there's probably good sideboard options. But then again, I don't know. I know there's a couple plummet variants in Type 2, but I also know that I'm pretty sure those just say destroy, right? It's not sacrifice or remove or exile or anything like that. So as long as he had another creature, he could just gain indestructibility and that wouldn't work. So I'm not 100% sure what answers there are to him in Standard, but I know I don't run game. which is making this game pretty darn difficult. Yeah. So this turn is definitely just Wrenn, but he's just honestly going to ask me the question next turn of, you know, are you actually going to do anything with that Tree Folk, or, you know, just let this pass? And by actually doing anything with it, what he's really going to be asking me is, am I interested in chump blocking with my Tree Folk? If he attacks my face, I actually think I do take it and try and get to a second Wrenn, because a double block would at least enable him to only kill one, and honestly, that's still not great, though, because he still just makes it indestructible. Yeah, none of these options are good. I do not know that we have an answer to this Predator. See, so this is what I was saying. I was pretty sure, but I kind of second guessed myself as I was talking. Like, I knew if I highlighted it, well, actually, it doesn't even tell me. I thought it would actually ask me to activate the ability, like when I guess I have to click on the. I don't know. What am I thinking of that I get the little activate ability button? But either way, I did also almost mention that I thought there was a frame around the card, but I was like, maybe there's not. I don't know. But there is. So that's a very good visual indication. I should never, ever, ever be missing a Planeswalker trigger. Or any other ability that I have that's able to be activated for that matter. So I just have to give myself the 2 seconds that it takes, and I have to make it a habit to be able to look at the screen for those sorts of things, because right now it's not, and I won't stick with this if I just get so frustrated with myself for not activating Planeswalkers that I just played that turn. So gotta find a way to make that happen, and Arena's given me a very easy way to realize that, and I just have to take advantage of it. Okay. I mean, that fits in with the rest of his deck, so I like this. I mean, obviously this deck is just trouncing me, but I'm still thinking back to that other deck, the Jeskai deck we played last round. I mean, he didn't, he lost, but I was really interested in his deck. Does anybody have a deck list for the sort of deck that opponent was playing? I don't think I could realistically put it together, but it might give me something to start working towards next season. Now I know that Sacred Fire and Faithful Mending are uncommons, and I think I have quite a few of them from drafting probably. I know that I do have the 4 adversaries. Those are 4 of Mythic, I believe, that I've opened. I think I have at least one. I know I have at least one Burn Down the House because I opened one in draft. And so, yeah, I would be interested if you guys had a list that looked good for the Jeskai deck, and what that looked like. So he is attacking Wrenn here. That buys me time, but I think all paths lead to him winning, realistically. So I do think we just let Wrenn die. I don't think we can afford to chump block just to keep a Planeswalker alive. Oh, did he also attack with the zombie? I didn't even see. I gotta keep up with it, man. I'm not paying enough attention. I'm over here running my mouth, talking to Chad about how I'm gonna pay better attention to be paying attention. So yeah, apparently he attacked with the zombie as well. I could have obviously blocked that with the 5/5. Not that I think that makes a world of difference here, but let's go ahead and go up with the Ranger class. Okay, Chariot on the top is not going to be fast enough. It is interesting that if I had a way to draw the Chariot, well, if I had a way to be attacking with the Chariot this turn, or even next turn, so if I could draw and play the Chariot this turn, it would be interesting because technically making a token every turn, as long as I could kill enough stuff that he couldn't trade with the Chariot, would be a way for me to win this game. But as it stands, I can't do it. So it seems like we're going to end this one 3-3, but that's okay. When this one gets over, I am going to check to see if the wife has gotten home yet. If she has, then I will probably just go ahead and end the stream. If she is not, I will go ahead and start another one, try and get a game or 2 in that then I can continue on with later tonight maybe. What do you guys think is the best Predator deck? I have to imagine Predator is very good against both mono green, and then although I don't think Predator itself is probably very good against mono white, it does, red black, a lot of kill spells and removal, and a very resilient threat. Probably as a deck lines up well against mono white, and it's got enough pressure that I think it could do reasonably well against the Epiphany deck. So, one, what do you guys think is the best Predator deck? And then two, why don't you think Predator is more common in the metagame? I've played it enough to know what it is and know that it's bad for me, but I don't see it often enough to think that it's very much a tiered deck. So, why do you think that is? What is it weak to? What is it bad against? I guess it's bad against bounce, right? If you're playing it in the Epiphany matchups and you sacrifice some creatures to it and then they just bounce it with a divide by 0 or something, that's probably pretty terrible. But you're under no obligation to do that, right? You would only sack creatures to it if they were going to kill those creatures anyways, or whatever. So I don't know. Yeah, it's probably not great in the Epiphany matchups, but the rest of the deck is probably pretty good against Epiphany. It's aggressive. It could run Disruption of some nature, Duresses or what have you. I guess this turn we're just blocking here. Now, he did not attack with the token this turn, so that's interesting. Yeah, we have one turn that we don't have to trade the Treefolk, and it's just as lethal next turn, so I don't see any reason to block the 6/6 and make him sack something else because he has a free zombie just chilling. And he's going to sack it anyways. Okay. Okay, we have another Wrenn on top, but it's just not going to be fast enough. Unfortunately, we only have one blocker for the Flyers. We cannot make another one this turn, and so we're dead. So good game, opponent. The Predators really got me. Alright, so we finished 3-3, which is unfortunate. However, we still only lost 100 gold on the investment for the event, and we did get 3 cards. 3 uncommons at least. That's another question that I have that I've been kind of wondering about is if you play enough of these events, do you actually end up with more of a shortage on commons than uncommons? Like for you guys that have been playing and have the majority of the cards from previous sets or whatever, do you find that because of these events, if you play them instead of ladder, for instance, is the amount of uncommons you gain from playing these events enough to make commons more scarce than uncommons in your collection completion? I'm kind of curious about that because I think on Untapped.gg I have a very similar amount of collection completion for commons and uncommons right now, and I have no real way to continue opening commons if I'm not going to open more packs of Midnight Hunt and I'm not going to draft anymore, whereas I will continue to gain uncommons just through the further events that I'm going to play in the future. So I am pretty curious about that. I don't know, it was just something I had started to wonder since I kind of signed up for Untapped.gg and was able to find my collection completion and start looking at those kind of situations. So let me know what you have found, if you know. Okay, so we didn't luck into an upgrade to a rare this time, so we do get those 3 uncommons. And they are 2 uncommons from the current set, and then 1 from the D&D set. Rust Monster, I'm not too interested in this. These are both great limited cards, but I don't think either one of them are going to see any constructed play anytime soon. So, yeah. And I did just, the wife did just pop her head in the room, so she is home. So I'm going to go ahead and end here. Thank you guys for hanging out with me for a little, bonus stream. This is not my normal streaming time. I think, I don't really have a set schedule yet, but the time that I anticipate streaming the most is going to be kind of late night. I'm much more of a night owl than my wife is, so she normally heads off to bed a lot earlier than I'm able to fall asleep. So that's a pretty natural time for me to come in here and play some games. And but yeah, whenever I have the chance and I'm just at the house not doing much else, I'll probably jump on like this and try and do a little impromptu streams as well. So hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. One last thing, I am going to possibly start trying to figure out how to do a raid. Um, I have one viewer right now, but hopefully I'll have more as I continue to grow. And I'm interested in passing those viewers off to someone, especially as I watch more members of the community and kind of start realizing the streamers that I like and want to put viewers in contact with directly. So, does anybody know kind of how that process works? I guess my one viewer is probably not going to just jump on and tell me that in chat real quick before I get off, so I'll probably have a chance to research that before next stream, but that is one thing that I'll probably be doing. So I have made the end stream scene now in Twitch Studio, but after we go to this, I'll probably go to the screen while I find someone to raid, and then I'll probably have like a you know, well, I guess I won't need a separate stream because I think once you raid, that just goes to their stream. So either way, that will hopefully be the thing that I work on. I try and work on one thing at least in between each stream to try and continue to improve as I start down this road. So I think that's the thing I'm going to try and work on next time. So hopefully that works out and you guys get to see it next time. But until then, thank you, and we'll talk to you later.